Spirit is bringing a message in about trust today. Trusting yourself specifically. You know, I'm going to pull some cards on this theme because this is a theme, that's coming in about belief and trust. Okay. Knight of Swords. Believing in yourself. So people say these things all the time, like, oh, you need to believe in yourself. You need to trust yourself. But what does it really mean? Okay, so I'm pulling from the Dragon Tarot. So this is the first card. This is the Knight of Swords. If you see, like, the sword is the sword of truth, and it's caught up in a hurricane or a tornado or a funnel. And what's coming through with this message, along with this card as well, this is the Page of Cups. He's looking at his reflection in the mirror, and he's trying to find the truth in his heart. So the truth, there can be this sword of truth, and it's all tangled up, can't get to it, but wants to find the truth, and also looking for a reflection of himself or herself in the water. So the message that's coming in is trust has to start with yourself. Trust has to start with seeing yourself for who you are. So sometimes some of us soul orphans or have like that kind of the outcast archetype within them. It's hard to really feel like you have any sort of anchor in yourself. And especially, like, I'm going to pull some more cards, but for me personally, coming from a high demand religion, we were taught to trust everything outside of yourself, everything from the external world, the prophet, the scriptures, your bishop, always a male of some kind who knows more than you do. And so from that, sometimes what's instilled is more shame and fear. So it makes it hard to find yourself. And my nose is itchy, so that's always a sign, okay, to slow down for me. A lot of times what happens when you've been raised in a certain situation where you haven't been, like, your truth and yourself, your soul hasn't been honored, more about like what you do, how you perform, being the role that people want you to be, you lose touch of yourself. It's not safe. In fact, you might even internalize shame with yourself. In the Lenormand deck, I got the Labyrinth. So if you can see, the Labyrinth is, just looking at some of these cards, you're going your way, you're trying to find your way to the center through the maze. But in a labyrinth or a maze, you get pulled off in side directions, you hit dead ends, it's not a direct path. And so sometimes you take false turns. But when you're in a labyrinth, it's not that you're failing. It's the nature of the game, like you're in a maze. And similar to life, we're sometimes in that same maze. And so when it feels like you are hitting a dead end, you need to regroup and start over and head to center. I'm going to pull another card because another message that's coming through is, when you are, strength, the ancient oak spirit, you have this internal light inside of you, and it runs deep, like deep rooted earthy strength, like an oak tree. And that is tapping into the true essence of who you are, not how you were conditioned or programmed to be. So I know for myself, like leaving like a high demand religion, it's like, your whole life is built on what you're told to do, essentially. Like you think it's because you want to do it. But then when you start to realize that you've been manipulated and brainwashed, either your family, in my case, it was family and religion. It makes you feel like you lose your center. Like you don't know where that inner truth is. Like, what is it exactly? And so it really fragments being able to trust yourself. and believe in yourself. And so what I found, I'm going to pull some more cards too, but what I found is, what do you actually know? And ironically, like also during this time of kind of having a faith transition, I also had 2 really prominent deaths in my family. And it really made me question, like, what is real? What is going on? Who am I? What do I believe in? How do I know what to trust? Because certain things are not true. And it really makes you dig deep. It makes you dig deep to see what do you really believe in? What is true? And for me, it was like certain core things that were like, I love my children, so that was one. But beyond that, like I've always, even as a kid, I always had like a lot of compassion for people. And so that was like, okay, I trust that because that's always been in me, and it still is, even outside of religion, even outside of conditioning. So for me, it was compassion. Also, like kind of mining who I was is like, I trusted truth. Like I wanted to find truth. I wanted to find, I'm not afraid of the truth. And this is coming out, this one actually popped out twice. The woman holding the coin, and this one, door to personal healing and happiness. So maybe you know that you like certain things in life, like pleasures. I'm a Taurus and I love all things cozy, and I love having safety and security in my physical environment. So I know that, I trust that about myself, that's true. I also trust not giving up. That's something that I also trust. So I think in the message of believing and trusting yourself, it's like, what things do I know? And start there. Maybe you don't know a lot, but what do you actually know? See with the indecision card, this is similar to the maze. Sometimes you feel like when you feel like you can't trust or believe in yourself, you have a lot of indecision. Whenever we're talking about, with indecision, you don't know necessarily where to go, what choices to make, how to anchor any of your choices, and why, like, what's the point? What's the point of anything if you don't really know? But the ultimate beginning, the little seedling of belief and trust is in yourself. Start with what you know in yourself. I'll pull one more card from the Sacred Forest Oracle, but that was the simple message today that I wanted to give to you. So one more card to believe in yourself. So I actually 2 came out. So we got Frog Spirit, Renewal. Well, there we go. Yeah, when I see this, I think of, sometimes you have to kiss a lot of frogs. Again, those in that labyrinth, a lot of side trails, a lot of side quests. You maybe have gotten off path, but there's always been magic in it. Just because, you have a certain destination, everything leads you back to yourself, a greater understanding and a deeper understanding of yourself. So there's no messing it up, permanently. It's all eventually leading us back to ourselves, and we have that renewal. And I also got Wood Nymph, Beauty. So that just is telling me, you have this inherent beauty, and it is beyond anything that you could do. It's just within you, and you can start to believe and trust that again. So trust your goodness, trust your beauty, because the beauty is just a physical representation of an inner light that you have, and it's within you. So start with what you know when you're on this quest to expand your belief and trust. Start with yourself. So that's the message today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Whoa, I'm like shaking this whole table. I'm Solasen, and until I see you again, stay wild, stay sovereign, and stay untamed.